If you've ever said, I want to change, but I keep failing, this is your wake-up call. It's not about willpower. It's not because you're lazy. The real reason you fail is that discipline is brutal, and I'm going to prove it. I've coached more than 15,000 hours with people just like you. I lost 35 pounds in the last 6 weeks. I wake up every day at 4 a.m. and coach 12-hour days back-to-back in 30-minute trenches. But trust me, I know what it's like to be stuck. Today, you'll discover the real science, the unstoppable habits, and the mind control tricks the world's best, like David Goggins, Tony Robbins, and Jim Rohn use to become unstoppable. Stop blaming motivation. Stop making excuses. Self-discipline, willpower, habits, morning routine, mental strength, mindset shifts, self-control, and the number one reason you keep failing. Let's reset your 2025. You think it's motivation. Wrong. Motivation is a myth. You think it's about talent? Nope. Talent is useless without massive consistency. The real reason is you are committed to your excuses and not your goals. Most people are. I was too, and sometimes I get back there. But here's the thing. If you're just interested in being disciplined, you'll find any excuse to quit. If you're truly committed, you'll find any way to win.
Discipline. You think it's a cute little habit? A motivational sticker on your water bottle? Wrong. It's a brutal, blood-soaked beast that doesn't care about your excuses, your tears, or your cozy little comfort zone. You're here because you're slipping, letting life stomp you into the dirt while you scroll and whimper. It's a wake-up call from hell. Buckle up. Look at yourself, wasting hours on TikTok, drowning in Netflix, hitting snooze like it's your damn religion. You're not just wasting time, you're butchering it.
Everyone starts strong. We sign up for the gym, we block our goals. Then the second it gets hard, just this once becomes another lost year. I see this daily in my coaching. People believe willpower will carry them through. But here's the reality. Willpower is a muscle, and it gets tired. People who win set their lives up so discipline is automatic, even on the worst days. Watch this from Tony Robbins.
Here's the key. You don't become disciplined by willpower. You become disciplined by ownership. You declare, this is who I am, and then you act in alignment with it until it becomes undeniable. At first, it feels like a stretch. At first, your brain will scream, that's not true. But here's what you need to remember. Identity is not about accuracy, it's about direction. You don't claim the identity you already have, you claim the identity of who you are becoming. The more you act in alignment with it, the more your nervous system wires it in. Think of an athlete. A professional athlete doesn't wake up every day asking, should I train today? Should I stick to my routine? No, they've already decided who they are. They are an athlete. And because of that identity, the action is automatic. Discipline doesn't even feel like discipline. It feels like breathing. That's the level you want to get to. So how do you make that shift? You begin by interrupting the old language and conditioning the new one. You stop saying, I'm not disciplined, I can't focus, I always quit. That language is poison. Instead, you begin to declare the identity you want out loud consistently until it becomes real. I am disciplined. I am the kind of person who follows through no matter what. I am consistent because my future deserves consistency. Your brain might fight it at first. Repetition is how beliefs are built. And don't just say it, prove it to yourself with small wins.
5 steps to unbreakable discipline. Let's make this actionable. The 5 steps to real unbreakable discipline. Step 1, identify before tactics. You have to become a disciplined person, not just act like one. If deep down, you're someone who always quits, you'll sabotage every plan. I've reprogrammed myself to be the guy who does not miss ever. You can ask any one of the hundreds of clients I have. They'll tell you when I set my mind to something, it's set in stone.
Self-discipline doesn't begin with what you do, it begins with who you decide you are. Let me say that again, it's not about what you do, it's about who you decide you are. Every single action you take in your life, every single behavior you repeat is tied to the identity you've accepted for yourself. If deep down you see yourself as someone who's inconsistent, who starts and stops, who procrastinates, then you can set all the goals in the world. You can make the most perfect plan, but your brain will always pull you back into alignment with that identity. You'll sabotage yourself, not because you don't want success, because success doesn't match the story you've been telling yourself about you. Think about it. If someone says to themselves, I'm just not a disciplined person, I've never been consistent, I always mess up. Guess what? They'll find a way to prove themselves right. That's not a lack of ability, it's the power of identity.
You have to understand, your mind craves comfort. I get up at 4 a.m. It sucks. Some days I freaking hate it. But real freedom is doing what's hard, even when nobody's watching. I know that if I get up at 4 a.m. 3 days a week and work my butt off for 14 to 15 hours, I get time off with my family 4 days a week. That's discipline. Discipline is doing what you hate to do and doing it like you love it.
Yeah. I don't care how good you are in anything. You don't have discipline, you ain't nobody.
Right.
You're nothing without discipline. Because you give up under the slightest struggle without discipline.
100%.
I mean, discipline is doing what you hate to do, but do it like you love it.
Doing what you hate to do, but do it like you love it. That is a great quote.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can do that, you could be successful in anything.
You know, you normally are.
Discipline isn't about waking up pumped. Sometimes I wake up pumped, sometimes I don't. It's about rituals and systems. My workouts, my meal prep, my calendars, my accountability partners. If I fail to prepare, I'm just preparing to fail.
You don't rise to the level of your intentions, you fall to the level of your systems. And in 2025, when distractions are louder than ever, when everything around you is pulling for your attention, your systems will decide your destiny. Now, rituals don't need to be complicated. In fact, the simpler, the better. A morning ritual of journaling for 10 minutes, moving your body, and setting clear intentions can shift your entire day. An evening ritual of putting your phone away, reviewing your wins, and planning tomorrow can change your momentum. These are not small things, they're anchors. And anchors keep you steady when storms hit. And let's not forget accountability as a ritual. If you're only accountable to yourself, it's too easy to negotiate. When you build a ritual of accountability, whether it's a workout partner, a mastermind group, or even a public declaration of your goals, you raise the stakes. Humans are wired to avoid letting others down. Use that wiring to your advantage. Make accountability part of your structure. The key is consistency. A ritual is not something you do once and forget. A ritual becomes powerful because it's repeated until it shapes your identity. Just like brushing your teeth. You don't think about it, you don't debate it, you just do it. That's the level you want your rituals to reach. So when it's time to work, you don't question it, you start. When it's time to move, you don't negotiate, you move. When it's time to say no to distractions, you don't fight, you simply follow your system.
If your goals are secret, quitting is easy. My clients know this. If I don't get up at 4 a.m. and start my workout and take a picture and send it to at least 5 of them, it's $100 a piece. So it's $500 every day that I don't get my workout in 5 days a week. That is not acceptable to me. So you need to say it out loud and you need to make it real and you have to hold yourself accountable.
The power of daily disciplines. When people look at those who have achieved success, whether it's in business, health, relationships, or personal fulfillment, they often assume that those results came from 1 or 2 big decisions, a stroke of luck, or a sudden breakthrough. But when you pull back the curtain on any long-term success story, you discover a far less glamorous but far more powerful truth. The secret is daily discipline. Small, consistent actions performed over time are the invisible force that separates the life of chaos and frustration from the life of mastery and fulfillment. It's not what you do once in a while that shapes your destiny, it's what you do consistently. Discipline is the bridge between intention and accomplishment. Every person has goals, dreams, and desires in some form. People think about being healthier, wealthier, more skilled, or more fulfilled. But between the wanting and the having stands a long road, and the bricks on that road are the habits and disciplines practiced daily.
Listen, in the last 6 weeks, I've gotten really serious about my diet and my weight. I didn't lose that weight because I love salads. I linked massive pain to the old me, and the real pleasure is the new me. If you want to win, you have to rewire your story and feel the cost of quitting on your future self. You need to choose your heart. The heart of being fat and out of shape, or the heart of getting the workout in and doing what you need to do. The heart of being successful, or the heart of not being able to pay your bills and getting evicted. Choose your heart.
The disciplined person doesn't see discipline as pain. They've conditioned themselves to see it as power, as joy, as freedom. And that's the secret. You don't have to fight against your brain. You rewire it so that discipline becomes your source of pleasure. Now let's be real. This doesn't happen overnight. You don't just flip a switch and suddenly everything feels pleasurable. You condition it, you reinforce it. You remind yourself daily of the pain of failure and the pleasure of follow through. You visualize, you declare, you celebrate your wins, you anchor it again and again until your nervous system adopts it as truth. And once it does, discipline no longer feels forced. It feels natural. Some of you here have been trying to force discipline by pushing against pain, by gritting your teeth, using raw willpower. And that works for a while, but it always breaks down because eventually emotion overrides logic. But when you wire the right associations, when you use pain and pleasure intelligently, discipline isn't a fight, it's a flow. You to imagine this. Imagine every time you're tempted to procrastinate, your brain immediately flashes the pain of regret, the lost time, the missed opportunities, and it disgusts you. And then imagine every time you take action, every time you follow through, your brain floods you with the feeling of pride, joy, and satisfaction. Imagine how much easier discipline would feel. Imagine how unstoppable you'd become. That's not a fantasy, that's conditioning.
Still think it's about some fancy tactic? Watch this. We got Jocko Willink, David Goggins, Will Smith, Kobe Bryant. It's all about discipline.
Motivation is kindling. So basically what it is I may motivate some people today for this 4 minutes I'm on TV.
Yep.
Oh my God, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. Great. But let's say it's real cold out in New York City. Let's say it's 30 degrees. You go outside, you get your gloves on, you go for a 5-mile run.
You're going to forget everything you said.
Everything I said is gone. That's motivation.
So you write about how Rocky motivated you. That movie motivated you, but you had to take it that next step. So how do you do that then?
Well, the thing about it is, it's about being driven almost to the point where you're obsessed. When you get to that point of being driven and possibly obsessed, you no longer care if it's 30 degrees outside.
And then the next day comes and you're back playing again, and you understand that life has this cyclical nature where it's, what you do on Monday is fantastic, but then Tuesday is a bad day. But guess what? There's Wednesday. Yeah. So are we just supposed to live our lives like this the whole time? Versus just staying like this and understanding that it's really just a journey of evolution every day. It's just constant improvement, constant curiosity, constantly getting better. The results don't really matter. It's the figuring out that matters.
Yeah. And we all get obsessed about the results. Like we get obsessed about like the output, not the input, of not figuring it out and not like changing things. What you said, trial and error, like the experimenting.
If there's potential inside of you, which you know it's there, but you're too scared to tell anyone else about it, and you go on and on, get older and older and older and older, and the windows of opportunity start to close, and you knew it could have been given birth to, but you never did it, I promise you, it will haunt you. It'll be more, it's a living nightmare, dude. That fact that you had the ability to do something and you're too weak to turn the key and start the engine on it is a greater disappointment and a greater burden to carry than any of this physical sweat equity or pain in the gym or sacrifice. All that is just nothing compared to a life where you're burdened by regret, guys.
There's no easy way around it. No matter how talented you are, your talent is going to fail you if you're not skilled. If you don't study, if you don't work really hard and dedicate yourself to being better every single day.
Yes, discipline, it does start with waking up early. It really does. But that is just the beginning. And I always say that discipline is the root of all good qualities. But you have to absolutely apply it to things outside of just waking up early. It's everything. It's working out every day, making yourself stronger and faster and more flexible and healthier. Discipline is eating the right foods to fuel your system. It's about disciplining your emotions so you can make good decisions. It's about having the discipline to control your ego so your ego doesn't get out of hand and control you. It's about treating people the way you would want to be treated. And doing the tasks that you don't necessarily want to do, but that you know will help you or help your team.
If you want comfort, go back to sleep. If you want next level discipline, step the fuck up. So you've seen the hype. Here's my reality. 15,000 hours of coaching people on discipline. 15,000 hours of holding people's hands and getting them to see that discipline's what's going to be the game changer in their lives. Dozens of people making millions of dollars. Hundreds of thousands of followers on YouTube. Like I said, 4 a.m. workouts, no snooze ever. I never hit the snooze button. 14-hour days, hundreds, if not thousands of testimonials from coaching clients that say, my coaching saved their lives. Discipline is the superpower, but you can't outsource it. You have to become it. That's what I teach. That's what I live every single day. Don't just watch one video that I selected here. Choose one system from today. Make it public. Pronounce it on your social media. Tag me @GotCoach on it. Let me say that again super clearly so you can hear me. Tag me on it, and then I'll respond to it. Put some skin in the game and take the new you to a new level. This year, you become the most disciplined version of yourself. No more excuses. If you thought this was helpful, hey, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button and do a comment. The algorithm loves when you guys comment on these videos. Maybe even pass the video to a friend who keeps quitting. Let them know when you send it to them, I know you keep quitting, and I think this is going to help you.